you want to be creative, you gotta have a relationship with him.
Yeah. Oh, I know that.
So we agree, right?
I agree on that.
We agree, right?
Yeah.
We agree, right? No, it's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
But
Because depend on
what you were saying now. Something you were saying.
Depending
that
on
was very important.
Okay, depending.
Before
I'm gonna tell you this. Depending on the situation, just like today, we talking about God right now. We talking about God, believing in God, believing in God. Depending on how you see what you do, it's going to have multiple levels of interest invested before it even comes to that time. But you say, well, God, this and that, God, that, well, God. And you look at the person at the desperate moment, whatever's going on at that point in time, they're going to be desperate for it. If you come around when they're desperate for it and give them what they need, compared to what you're trying to give them, God said this, God said that, God's going to reach them in a different message within their own.
You say give what they need. Okay, who is you talking about?
Regards to God?
I guess what do you?
Regards to God. That's what I'm saying. Who is you talking about? Is you talking about a preacher? Is preaching to us? Or what
You talking about the preacher thing that I brought up before?
That's why I'm confused when you say that.
Well, what I'm referring to with the preacher situation, I was just being hypothetical about that. Hypothetical, where you believed in something to the point that it was unlogical to think for your own self based on what they telling, because they can tell you so much, and you start to believe everything they say. All of a sudden, you're not taking your logic judgment on things
like a disease. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and God understands that the devil was one of the most beautiful angels up there. Yeah. And based on that, somebody's telling you a story. You have to be careful between the line, because sometimes the message God's giving you, He's giving it to you in disguise.
Right.
And He wants you to take it on. But you say, well, God didn't say this on this page. It might blow up in your face because...
Well, it does say in the Bible, too, is that you have to be careful who's teaching you this. You have to be careful. No, I'm serious. I was looking at you. I'm sorry, man.
Dude, Joe's got a grandson. half on his daddy's side.
Well, I have to bring that out. You have to be careful who's teaching you, and they really have to believe in it. You gotta follow. You gotta follow them and see if they believing in this, because you can't follow everybody. You know, that's just
well, I feel like somebody watching me.
I'm just saying.
Replay. It's a replay. Text Genesis.
Because the point is that you got a lot of preachers out there today that living by the devil and not living by God.
Yeah.
And that's a bad thing. So when God comes, they're gonna be thinking they saved, and they really not saved. They're going to hell.
They said that right.
Huh?
They said all right about Jim Jones.
I can't talk to this brother. I swear.
Talk about Jim Jones. Talk about Jim Jones.
Listen to me.
Preach. What you trying to? What's your message?
My message is peace be unto you.
Peace.
Yeah, and be unto you.
Yeah. You watch too many movies, man.
Peace be unto me.
Yeah.
Like, can you expound on that?
Okay, let me explain this to you. The information based on your situation, the information that's brought to you at that time is I call it is meals. Some of them energy boosters, some of them energy drainers, depending on what you say.
So you just felt like you got drained.
No,
real?
I didn't feel like I got drained.
What'd you feel?
By you?
Yeah.
About what he said.
By what he said?
There was a whole lot of.
You doing the Matrix.
Man, I was doing the Matrix. I was up there doing the. I thought I was doing the what they call it, the kickboxing thing. What's his name? Billy Blanks. Typo. See, that was it. Once again, one-eyed devil is one-eyed devil. You don't do it to your brothers and sisters.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What do you believe in?
When I believe in, okay, I'll tell you this.
What are you trying to convert us to?
Yeah.
I know you trying to got us all up in it.
You got us all up in the TV.
You the leader of this this
what
thing
do you
right now.
believe in?
Well,
I'm
gonna tell you this exactly what I believe in about God. See, God have these messages that He plant, and illustration of what we do modify what the proper goal was for yourself. If you say, well, I'm not going to church today. I'm going to go hang out with my friends. Something happened to you. And you said, man, see, that was your fault because you didn't go to church. And that person didn't go to church. He probably got killed that night that went to church. So it's a difference in stories.
Wait a minute. I just asked you a question and you turned it.
That's called the okie doke.
Yeah, because he turned it. Wait a minute, I just asked you a question, but that's not the question.
Okay, what's the question you asked me?
I asked you, what do you believe in?
What I believe in? I believe in God.
Okay, there you go. All this other stuff that you say, I can't.
Do you believe that God is a source of creativity?
See, all this stuff right there, I call it's like spam pop-ups. It's like you're putting viruses of God in my head. I don't want no viruses of God in my head, okay? I believe in
God?
Yeah, I want viruses. It's viruses of God because if you look at the message of God, if somebody tell you, well, God said this to them, before it gets back around most of the time when people get information, the story be modified. You tell one preacher this and the next preacher that.
I believe you on that. I really believe you on that.
And
that's where it tears up everybody's mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they not hearing
you
the
have
truth.
the number of the guy who has my phone?
The number.
Or the address or whatever? Were you able to write that down?
Me call back.
Oh, you got it? Okay, cool.